The main challenge that we all struggle with when it comes to trying to explore the world is money. And if you want to travel to places like Dubai or the Maldives, it is going to come with the fact that you are going to need a healthy budget to go there. But there is a way that you can travel to so many different destinations on a shoestring budget. And today I'm going to show you the best tips for getting away without having to throw away your money. My number one tip for traveling on a budget is don't actually be afraid to book things yourself. And also don't rely on package holidays. And don't get me wrong, some of my favorite trips and holidays have been with the likes of TUI. They're amazing, they're stress-free, and I can definitely see why they appeal to a certain audience. But we're today talking about how to get the most of your money. But if you're not afraid to spend a little bit of time doing your own research and booking things separately, you will save an absolute fortune. You'll want to focus on three main things when you're doing this. The first is your flights. And the main way that I get around this and try and find as cheap a flights as possible is by using the wonderful website which is Skyscanner. And in all honesty, Skyscanner is a budget traveler's best friend. It's essentially a comparison site for flights which will compare different flights and different prices from hundreds of different airlines and destinations, and this will give you the cheapest option. Just like when you're finding home insurance or car insurance, Skyscanner does the equivalent, and it's always good to get a comparison to make sure you're not paying more when you don't need to. Number two is accommodation, and accommodation will vary massively in price depending on where you are, what time you're going, and how you choose to book your accommodation as well. I have two main apps or websites which I use for booking accommodation. The first one is booking.com and the second is Airbnb. Firstly, with booking.com, it's very flexible and will often allow you to book a stay without actually having to pay up front. The second option is Airbnb, and this is amazing for anyone that is traveling in a large group of people, because doing it this way, you'll be able to rent a whole house or a whole villa, and you'll be able to split the cost between everyone that is going with you. And let me tell you, this means you can get some amazing deals and stay in some amazing places, and it will cost you a very similar amount to a normal hotel. Number three is transport. And one of the things that I think people forget when they are traveling is that you've got to get from the airport to your accommodation. So what I'd recommend when you're looking for somewhere to go, make sure you're seeing how far away the airport is from your chosen city or your chosen accommodation. The closer it is, the cheaper it is going to be to get there, whether that's through taxis or actually just walking to your accommodation from the airport. For example, me and my girlfriend stayed in Bremen last Christmas for the Christmas markets, and the accommodation was only a 30-minute walk from the airport. So this saved us a hell of a lot of money, because otherwise we would have had to get a taxi, a bus, or some kind of public transport, which we ended up being able to use and put towards a nice hot chocolate in the Christmas markets. My second best tip for traveling on a budget is be flexible with your dates and times. This is a massive one, because if you're insistent on traveling in the peak times, you're going to pay more money. Remember, supply versus demand, and you're always going to pay a marked up price for wanting to go to a warm country during the summer or a colder country during the winter. But if you're willing to fly on weekdays, or you're willing to stay in these like warmer countries during the off season, you're going to pay a cut price. For example, me and my girlfriend, we stayed in Magaluf in April 2022, and this was before everything had opened. It was basically a ghost town. This wasn't what we travelled to Magaluf for, as we just wanted to explore the island of Mallorca, visit Palma de Mallorca, and take a drive up in the mountains. But going at this time of year meant that we got an unbelievable price and paid next to nothing to visit this gorgeous island. And it was almost like we had the beach and the restaurants pretty much to ourselves. My third tip is get a travel debit or credit card. And there are two parts to this. So number one is getting a travel card for your day-to-day spending, like a Revolut or a Caxton card. And this video is not sponsored in any way. These are just some of the apps and some of the cards that I use for my travels. So these cards will allow you to exchange currencies on their app and usually give you a better exchange rate than exchanging your money at the airport. This means you can avoid currency exchange fees when paying for stuff out in your chosen destination. And number two is getting a credit card based on travel that will allow you to earn travel points just for spending with them. And I understand we're all in different financial situations, so this is not financial advice. And if a credit card is not the right move for you, don't do it. This is just one of the ways that you can maximize your spending day to day to get more from your travels going forward. So I recommend these because you can use these travel cards to generate points just for your day-to-day spending, and after 6 months to maybe even 2 years, it might take a bit of time, but after that amount of time you would have accumulated enough points to pay for potentially a free flight to a destination of your choice. So the cards that I use for this, for my day-to-day spending, debit card is a Revolut premium card, and this is amazing because I get a metal card, which is really cool. It also gives you some other benefits such as year-long worldwide travel insurance, and that can come at a bit of a cost as well depending on your destination. The credit card that I use is a British Airways American Express card, and I'm using this to actually hopefully pay for a flight out to Thailand in the coming year or so. My final tip for traveling on a budget is don't be afraid to go to some of the more off-track and on the unbeaten path destinations. In essence, I'm saying don't visit the most touristy places in your chosen country. If you want to go to the popular destinations like Rome or Paris or London or anywhere like that, you are going to pay a marked up price. For example, if you want to live in any of these destinations, you're going to pay more for your housing and accommodation and rent, and it's the same with everything else that a traveller loves. But if you can choose a destination that is a bit more unknown, you're going to pay an absolute cut price for this. Not only this, you might get to experience something which you wouldn't find by even exploring hundreds of hours of YouTube videos, because people don't do it all the time. There's going to be hundreds and thousands of videos on how to travel to Rome or Venice or anywhere like that, but if you go to these more off the path destinations, you're going to experience things that not everyone else has. I found this when me and my girlfriend went to Palermo last year, and Palermo is a city that is located on the island of Sicily in Italy. The drinks were a fraction of the price. For example, we were paying €1 to €1.50 for a bottle of Peroni, and for anyone in the UK knows about Peroni, you'll know it's not a cheap drink, it's not a cheap beer at all, and the accommodation was a cut price from what we would have got in Milan or Rome or Florence or Pisa, anywhere like that. This saved us a lot of money, and we still got to experience the true authentic Italy and what it's all about. Not only this, but we got to experience a Italian street party for its students. So every Tuesday or Wednesday night, I can't remember what day it was, on the streets of Palermo there is an on-street party, basically, where there's bars that are popped up out on the streets and they're playing music till the early hours of the morning, and we got to experience that, which we wouldn't have got somewhere else. So these are my main tips for traveling on a budget, and hopefully this means you'll be able to get away that little bit more often, because this is what we live for. And if you're watching this video, I know that's what you live for too. We all want to get away, and we all want to experience as much as we can whilst we have our time on this beautiful earth. For anyone that doesn't know, my name is Josh, and I'm part of the Lost Generations YouTube channel. And today it's just me, but I do this YouTube channel with me and my dad, and we just talk about the best places in the world, because that's what we love to do. So please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel while you're here. We want to get to 100 subscribers as quickly as possible, so make sure you're here so you can say that you've helped us get there. Until next time, thank you for watching, and make sure you do leave a comment below with any videos that you want to see in the future. Thanks.